This is a Phantom Thoughts RPG a Day 2025 episode. For this year, for RPG a Day, I will attempt to use the prompts to create elements of an adventure module. So hopefully by the end of the month, I'll have everything you need that you put together party characters and go on an adventure. RPG a Day 2025, Day 4, Message. So Message could be a lot of different things in the context of an adventure. It could be an invitation to adventure sent directly by a patron or posted to a common space for curious adventurers, or as a recruitment tactic if it's sent directly to a party. It could be a map found in the backpack of a group of remains of a fallen adventurer, in a fallen warrior's body in his hand, or a treasure hoard in some kind of scroll case or in a chest, promising riches or power by denoting the X marked on the spot and maybe some notes around the edge. It could be a warning about an ancient artifact or a threat to the world or a threat to people who are seeking to enter a given space. It could be written on the walls of a dungeon entrance, or it could be runes in some type of temple. A message could be a lure into a trap, or to tempt a party into a dangerous dungeon, either to purposefully meet their end, someone that has it out for them, or simply to weaken the dungeon's threats so someone else can come into the treasure within. It could be an opportunity presented honestly. Simple business, quid pro quo. Go out, go to this location, do this, kill this, fulfill this mission or quest, and get a fair reward. It could be a cry for help, something in the style of the old A-Team TV show when people had to actively seek them out to request their help. The party is sought out for their reputation, whether as consummate do-gooders or just someone that gets stuff done, no questions asked. I'm the best there is at what I do, but what I do isn't very nice. Now, in this situation, I could come up with a table with various possibilities and roll up on it, but I believe in what I've established so far in these episodes. It's pretty straightforward that the message the party is receiving is a legitimate, urgent request by this Lamian noble. She would not have sent for these adventurers or for a group of hardy adventurers if she couldn't trust that they could get the quest accomplished, and whether or not she'll trust them with her identity or with the exact details of why she wants the party to go on this mission might be up to how the PCs present themselves, how she responds to them, and that sort of thing. So the message is a legitimate offer. There are hidden motives, but no ulterior motives. There's not any negative intentions toward the party in this situation. But there is the question of maybe not having the party be sort of a neutral party to them. Will this Lamian noble necessarily be extremely detailed in what they know? Will they even think about, this could be a threat to the PCs that they might encounter, and they should be warned about it, or will she just not think in that way? Or could the party pick up on unspoken motives or possible dangers, or just the fact that this patron is not quite as caring about their well-being from tone or body language? Or does the party have or has encountered, maybe on their way to the meeting if they were delayed, some sort of source that could bring the patrons to true identity or motive to light in the context of the meeting? And then, of course, there's the matter of the message itself. Could it have been intercepted and maybe replaced, probably not replaced, but changed somehow, or simply read by a rival so that they know what the party is doing? Or could it have been a situation where maybe the initial request the party was going to get was from somebody else entirely, and it was the Lamia Noble that had their network of informants and intelligence gatherers and spies intercept that message because they wanted the party working for them. So I'm going to roll up a few things, and there are a lot of course, oracles out there I could use. I've actually created my own utilizing fudge dice, or what a lot of people refer to as fate dice. And these are those dice you see, if you're not familiar with them, that have they're 6-sided dice with a plus on 2 sides, a minus on 2 sides, and a blank on 2 sides. And so using 2 of these, I came up with my own little oracle. If you get 2 pluses, the answer to your question is yes, and something that is a positive. If you get just a plus and a blank, it's just a yes. If it's 2 minuses, it's no, and there's some sort of negative. If you get a minus and a blank, it's just a no. And then there's 2 options for yes, but, where it's a yes and then some kind of negative attached to it, or no and then some kind of positive attached to it. And that's either something has to be the plus minus and something has to be the double blanks. Now, the plus minus is more likely to occur than a double blank situation. So how you interpret that is going to skew the results slightly. If you read a result that has a plus and a minus as plus minus, then you're generally going to get a more positive result overall. If you read that as a minus with a plus on it, then that you're going to generate a negative result overall. So for the first question I'm going to ask here, was this message originally from the Lamia Noble? I'm going to judge it in the more positive light. So if I get a plus and a minus, it will be a yes, but with a negative attached to it. So we'll roll, and we get a double plus. So definitely this message was always from the Lamia Noble. And I'm going to say, and this message was also clear that there was going to be a level of subterfuge involved in this quest, that they couldn't be open about it, so they should keep it to themselves, and that there is a fair amount of danger as well. So the second question is, was this message intercepted and read by another faction? And so for this, I got just a simple yes, a plus with a blank, so simple yes. So this message was read by another group. So now the question is, since it was intercepted, did they make any changes to it? And again, I get a simple yes. So another simple yes. There was some change made to it by the intercepting group. So that raises the question, how was it changed? So the potential things I see possible are the location of the meeting, the time of the meeting, the potential reward if they should take on the task that is being asked of them, and the very nature of what they're being asked to do. Changed to maybe something that the last 2 may be simply being changed to something that the party might not be interested in, and therefore not even go to the meeting. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll my little oracle dice here, and whichever gets the most positive result, that's what it is. So for location, was the location changed? And I'm dropping dice on the floor again. All right. All right, I got a double blank. All right, what about the time? Also a double blank. The reward, I got a no, just a simple no. And then the nature of the task that's being asked of them, and I got a double no. So the most positive would be the location or the time was changed. So let's have a roll off here. I got 2 dice of 2 different colors. I got a purple and a glow in the dark colored material. So I'm going to go with the glow in the dark will be for time, and the purple will be for location. Double blank. So roll again. And the glow in the dark is the positive, and the purple is the blank. So the time was changed. The time was changed. So the party is probably going to be late. And depending on how late it was changed, let's see how late it was changed. Again, we'll go by how positive or how negative. So it was changed. I got a positive and a negative, which I'm viewing as a yes, but so the timing was changed only a little. So chances are they won't miss the patron entirely. The patron won't get tired of waiting on them, but that it would make them late if they follow this message exactly. Unless, of course, when that rolls on the other table, it shows they arrive early, in which case they could potentially arrive on time. And then the last question I was going to roll on is, will the party be followed by another faction when they go to this meeting? And I got a double blank, which I have said is no but. So no, they will not be followed to the meeting, but obviously the intercepting party will know when they're going to be there, and they may be just keeping an eye on the location to see if the Lamia Noble merchant wife patron gets there so early compared to the PCs that they just leave. But they'll probably have eyes on the location. Now, obviously, something I can do is not use, I can put that specific result into the module, or I can put the questions that I used and a little oracle of some kind or to recommend an oracle or put in an oracle of some kind for the potential GM to read. That would probably be less railroady, but you could also do both and give the option so that the GM can decide if this is something that they want to customize to their own campaign, simply using a roll of the dice, or if they would prefer just to have an answer straight out for this, because while that's a little railroady, I don't think it's extremely railroady. And I'm going to end it here. The opening theme of this podcast was Strength of the Titans, and the closing music is Late Night Radio, both from Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 4.0 license. If you have any thoughts or feedback, you can get in touch with me by leaving me a voicemail on my Google Voice number, 864-209-1441. That's 864-209-1441. Or through SpeakPipe at www.speakpipe.com/Phantom Thoughts. That's www.speakpipe.com/Phantom Thoughts. Or you can send me a message or an audio file on Discord, where I can be found the Pink Phantom, or through email, phantomthoughtspodcast@gmail.com. That's phantomthoughtspodcast@gmail.com. I don't have to play or read your feedback on the podcast if that is not your preference. Just let me know.